Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is episode 21 of the Floirda Panthers franchise mode. And in the last episode we went through a lot of problems and we unfortunately didn't make it to the playoffs, which was very unusual and it sucks. Because last year we made it in and we were looking to make another comeback into the playoffs once again. And I think the reason why we didn't make it into the playoffs was because of grit. And because of that fact, we didn't have that many big players, and we weren't that good defensively throughout the entire year. And there was a lot of players to blame because of that. Johnny Gaudreau, of course, was a massive player defensively, but we didn't have like any stalwart defensively. Like Heponimanen, sure, Tippett played, Gaudreau played great defensively. We need some big time hitters. I mean, Marner struggled to hit on that. We need like someone that could be consistent, like a Kirby Dack or Andrew Shaw, type of guys like that. We had no rhyme or reason why we didn't win, but I think we need to get rid of Mitch Marner and pick up someone bigger for that first line to play alongside Johnny Gaudreau and Owen Tippett. And then that second line, I think I might keep as Kirby Dack, Heponimanen, and Laine, which was been working out pretty good for us, I think, because it's been a working line for us, and I think we can almost keep it as that type of lineup combination. The third line's also going to change entirely. Heinen's probably going to be the only guy left on that third line, but I really like the combination of Heponimanen, Kirby Dack, and Patrick Laine. That line played really well this year, and I think it could still do good in the later future. Mitch Marner's going to be the only guy that's going to be traded from the team. Noah Hanifin is going to be replaced by Maxim Petrov. I think what we could possibly do as well is if there's any big-time free agent for the defensive core, I think we might go after, because we need to make this team as good as we possibly can. So if Ivan Provorov drops down to free agency, we're going to go after him and pick him up, right, to play alongside of Aaron Ekblad. If there's fucking Mikhail Sergachev, we're going to go and pick him up. If there's any of those types of players in free agents next year, we're going to go and grab them. If there's like a defenseman that could really change the course of this team, we're going to go and get him. We're going to pick him up. Now, for players, I don't want to look at that. For players that we need, well, of course, we need to sign Patrick Laine in this episode as well for the offseason. But for big-time centermen, you got Dylan Strome. I don't think you're really going to be able to get anyone that's a big-time power forward unless you go after like a guy like Nolan Patrick, who really does not produce very much points. I mean, he produces good, but not with a second-line player. But we're going to have to make a massive trade to go out there and get a good power forward and stuff like that. We've seen a massive growth out of Kirby Dack this year, which was also very impressive. I like that. Oh, and look at that. Eric Davies is an 81 overall. So you got some developing guys coming through the system. And Eric Davies, or Ryder Davies, he's going to be a third line guy. So we got to remember that we're going to have him to play next year. And overall, we had a lot of development. And Kirby Dack, I don't think he's going to improve anymore wherever he is. I think he's going to be a legitimate 83 overall. So I think he's a good producing guy, even as a third liner, I think we just keep him in that position. But if, for example, if Ryder Davies jumps up to be a second line player, then hell, we could play Ryder Davies alongside of Laine and Heponimanen. If we need to make a deal, we could trade away Heponimanen or something like that. So there's multiple things that we're going to be doing in this episode, because it is a big time episode for the Floirda Panthers, as we want to make a big time playoff push, as NHL 20 is going to be rising here very, very soon, as we got almost exactly a month coming up on the 13th, so that's coming up very, very soon. And the Floirda Panthers has nothing to prove that they could be Stanley Cup champions, as we traded away a lot of picks, so we don't have any picks this upcoming year. So we're going to be looking for a one-for-one deal between Mitch Marner and someone else. So we're going to be making a huge blockbuster deal. I don't know who we're going to be looking for. Practically, once we get there, we're going to be looking for a brand new player. So it's going to be a weird type of change here. So your Vancouver Canucks are your Stanley Cup champions. I cannot believe they won before us, which is just ridiculous. But your Vancouver Canucks are your Stanley Cup champions. We're going to be jumping right into that draft once we take a look at awards. And we didn't get a very good lottery pick. We got 12, so that's a good thing. We didn't lose out on very much. But we did get Stanley Lieb in that position at one moment in time, if you do remember that. So players that have retired, we have a lot. Getzlaff is retired. Giroux. So really, Philadelphia is going to really fall apart this year, I think. I don't know if they're going to lose Ivan Provorov or anything like that, but Provorov's like Petrov. I think he's just like Petrov is a lower down type of Provorov. So if Provorov is there, we're going to go all in and get Provorov, depending on how much money we have. Remember, we're not the rich Florida Panthers. We got to remember that. So, awards: Vancouver Canucks, your Stanley Cup champions; New York Rangers, your President's Trophy; and Vancouver faced the New York Rangers in the Stanley Cup final. It was a rematch, and the Vancouver Canucks came out on top. So congratulations to Vancouver for winning it for the second time in a row. They're really turning themselves into a dynasty there in Vancouver. Art Rust goes to Johnny T. He also wins the Hart Memorial. Miro Haskinainen wins to James Norris. Lady Bing goes to Kuznetsov. Calder goes to Tikhonov. Pedersen wins to Conn Smythe. Hart, for the third year in a row, wins the Vezina. Andrei Vasilevsky wins the Willie Jennings. Siemens wins the Bill Masterson. Frank J. Selke goes to Connor McDavid. Ted Lindsay and Maurice Rucker-Richard goes to Johnny T. So, let's just jump right into the draft. What are we waiting for? Let's get right into this bitch. We're going to be going right after a guy that we could possibly look to go and trade for the first line and stuff like that. So let's go and see if anyone's on the trading block. That's where we're going to look at first, is the trading block. See if there's any big-time players that we can go after and pick up to improve the team this year. You got Matt Duchene, Bjorkstrand, Dickinson, which I was waiting to see how he was. I mean, he produces a lot of points, 66 points, 6'1". He plays that good defensive hockey. I think even picking him up for like that. Oh, he's a third liner even. Fuck me, man. Dickinson for that third line, 4.5 though. It's an expensive contract though. And that's gonna be a hard bargain to play with. 4.5 for a third liner. That's going to be a hard bargain, but I don't think we're going to be able to find anyone that's like a power forward that's going to be like a big-time hitter. I don't think we're going to be able to find a player like that. We're going to have to look at each individual team to see what we can find and see if they would be willing to make a big-time deal. As we're trading away Mitch Marner a year after we acquired him. Now, I know we've been doing a lot of wheeling and dealing for the past couple of years. I really want to keep the team the way that it is, but we're trying to find the right trade mate. Brad Marchand, Pasternak, that does not work for me. Eichel, Leander. See, this is a guy that works for us. Oh, shit. Hitting the mic. Casey Milstad. Two-way defender. He's 6'1". He's not that physical, though. That's a problem. He's not that best defensively. How many he has? 40 hits per year. He's not that great defensively. No, Casey Milstad is not our guy. Sam Reinhart, on the other hand, how well has he been? He's a great defensive player. He hits a bit. He produces good hockey. I know he can as well because I had him in my Ottawa Senators GM mode, and he produced really, really well. So Sam Reinhart's someone to kind of think about just as a swap. Mitch Marner goes to them. It's just a one-for-one swap. You don't change anything up. It's a change of scenery. Landeskog, Marquardt, I don't think they're really going to want to trade any of those guys. Pinard, Sylvester, Pierre-Luc Dubois, $9 million for this guy, though. How well does he produce? 64 points. That was his season high. He had 68 before. He's a big-time power forward, which is a guy that we need. And he hits, and he plays good defensively. I think Pierre-Luc Dubois kind of takes the cake for us. Pierre-Luc Dubois, I think, really takes that cake home for us. Unless we go after a guy like Leon Draisaitl, who can also be a guy that kind of takes that cake home for us. 78 points. He produces a lot more than Pierre-Luc Dubois. He has a nice contract, 88.5 for the next 2 years. They have three centermen up the middle. That makes a realistic sense to go after Leon Draisaitl to line our first line for the Florida Panthers alongside of Gaudreau. He's a good defensive player. Could probably play on the PK as well. Nico Hischier, but you got, yeah, they're looking pretty good there. But it makes the most sense. You have three centermen that you can move out. Leon Draisaitl would man that first line. He would man the PK. He would man everything on our team. I think that really takes the case for us. He's 28 years old. He's a perfect fit for the Toronto Maple or for the Florida Panthers. He fits right perfect into our core. I think we know who we're picking up. We got this Holmquist guy, but he's a young stud for Washington. I don't think they're going to want to trade him away. We almost should have kept Barkov, man. We almost should have. He was a guy who hit the body. He was a good guy. He was overall a good player for the team, but we were looking to get a producer. And look at the year that he just had, 71 fucking points. We really regret trading away Barkov because we could have changed the team up entirely, but we wanted to go after Line. We got Line. Now we're kind of regretting it. Anyways, Leon Draisaitl for Mitch Marner, 1-for-1. Just nothing else. They get a little bit more money in their pockets between Leon Draisaitl and Mitch Marner. So Mitch Marner for Leon Draisaitl, will it go through? No, it does not. They reject the trade, so they don't see the same type of player. So Mitch Marner, Leon Draisaitl in a second, just to sweeten it a touch. So we'll add a fifth to the trade, and no, so we're gonna have to add a fourth. I knew that was gonna happen. A fourth. No, not even that works. So a third, and we'll pick up a fourth of this. Actually, we'll do next year's draft. A fourth of next year's draft. Will that go through? No, seriously. Wow, okay. So we'll take off the fourth, and we'll just do that. There we go. Leon Draisaitl will be coming to the Florida Panthers. That will be our last of our trades that we're going to ever make to kind of rotate the team's transition. We're going to keep the team the way that it is for now on. We're not going to change a single fucking thing about what we have. Why the fuck did okay, Heppo Nieminen always drops down to a third liner. He's not a third liner. So we got a first line of Draisaitl, Gaudreau, Laine, and then Tippett, Heppo Nieminen, and then Kirby Dach for our second line. Shaw's gone, so we're only going to have Heinen really for that second line. And also Ryder Davies. You cannot forget about Ryder Davies. We're also going to have him play for that third line. Yeah, see, everyone kind of drops down wherever Ryder Davies is. So whatever they were at the start of the year, they kind of drop down to that. So Leon Draisaitl, first line, he's going to be coming to your Florida Panthers. That is a big, big deal for us. So now Leon Draisaitl or Mitch Marner will be going to play in Edmonton. Maybe that will make their team a bit better. And right off the get-go, we get this medium elite Tuomo Havainen, Finn guy. I think that's perfect for our team. Right winger, Hoivanen, whatever his name is. So that'll be our first pick of the draft. We're not going to get very many picks throughout this draft. We're going to be getting a lot of low picks, but that's okay. Marco West, another guy that possibly could be a good pick for the Florida Panthers. We're practically just going to go right through this draft. We cannot do that trade. Next year's GM mode, I'm going to be making a whole entirely new list for new rules and stuff like that, which I'm really excited for. We could trade down a pick, but I mean, we'll just go after Gay Aben. Not a guy that's going to turn out to be very good for us, but we'll just pick him up anyways. We're not really seeing very much potential out of this draft. Philippe Weller will go after. I think this is going to be one of our lower drafts for the Florida Panthers. I'm mainly just focused on getting into that draft, that big ass free agency right now, because yeah, developing is a big thing for the Florida Panthers, but right now we're really, really focused on wanting to make it back to the playoffs. That is our main focus right now. That's what we really want to focus on. So we need a goaltender to fill out the rest of the draft. And I'm really excited. I'm not getting bored of the game like I am sorta. I'm really just waiting on the new NHL. Because the way that I've, the rules and everything, I've gotten really bored of the rules. Because I've played multiple GMs in this rule. And I don't mind the rule set and shit like that. But I'm going to be setting up an entire new rule list and shit like that. I'm really excited for the next GM mode that I'll be doing and stuff like that. I'm really, really excited for that. So let's get into signing some contracts. We have $42 million in our pockets. So let's go right out there and sign the guys that we need. So Patrick Laine, he's still an RFA. So we do not have to worry about giving RFAs no movement clauses and stuff like that. Now, if, for example, Laine was an RFA, we would have to be worried about giving him a wheel spin and stuff like that. But we do not have to worry about giving Laine a wheel spin. So 6 years at $8 million, well worth it to Patrick Laine. So then Heppo Nieminen, we're also going to be locking him up. We're going to give him 3 years at $8.5 mil for Heppo Nieminen, and also Kirby Dach. We're going to get him locked up to a deal as well because he's been a good player. So we'll sign him for 2 years at $3.250 million for Kirby Dach. Dante Heinen says he does not want to re-sign with the team, but we will re-sign him because he's been a big-time player for us. So 2 years at 3.5, so we'll get him back on the team. Andrew Shaw and Jordan Eberle will not be signing back. Ryder Davies will be playing alongside of Dante Heinen next year. That's going to be the plan for next year. Lawson Cross, we're not signing back. Zemnis Girgensons, we're not signing back. Devontae Smith-Pelly does not want to say. And then Brent Leeson does want to get re-signed. He's a big 6'5" player. Might as well he could be that centerman for that fourth line. We'll give him a try on that line. And then William Mandano, he's developing into a very nice maybe fourth line player for us. Jonathan Egg will re-sign back to a deal. Yurko, Gagne, Bledsoe, Shen, Tonelli will sign back to a deal. He's developing very nicely for the team. Buden, He's a 70 overall, top 6. He might turn out to be something good for us. And then that's it. Defensively now, we got Ekblad, Keenan's, Noah Hannafin. We are not signing back to a deal. We got Jalen Percy and Maxim Petrov, and then we might go after somebody else in free agents. Namaki, yes. Joseph, will sign him because he's been a good depth piece for the team, so we're going to keep him on the team. Dahlstrom, Moreau, Perry, Riley. I don't think we're going to keep any of these guys. Buff. We're not going to keep any of those guys. This guy's been developing very nice. We're going to keep him. Vasilinen, Faisal probably not going to develop, but we'll sign him to a deal. Carlton, we're not having very many defense prospects. We're really going to have to go out there and have like a fantastic draft. Now, we do have 2 starting goaltenders, as you guys can see, between Eric Davies and Stuart Skinner, so we're going to have to address that this year as well. So get Julian Woodfield to a contract, and no, we don't have to worry about the franchise goaltender. So everyone's signed to a deal. Hopefully everyone signs. Dante Heinen's the only guy that we're going to have to spin a wheel on. He does not want to re-sign with the Florida Panthers, so practically we're going to have to change up the entirety of that third line. We're not going to have to worry about any no movement clauses, nothing. Laine does not want to sign one because he's still an RFA. So we're practically looking pretty damn good. We're ready to go. The only third liner we have right now is Ryder Davies, so practically that's what we're going to be riding with. And we're going to just sign all new scouts this offseason because we need better scouts for the fucking team for this upcoming new year. But let's take a look at what we need before we jump in the free agency, because that's usually the ritual we take into this team, is what do we need first before jumping in. Now, is Alexander Keenan's jumping up to a top 2 defenseman is the question? No, he is not. He's been practically staying at that top 4. Now, hopefully he doesn't just randomly take a fucking jump. Now, Ryder Davies is going to be playing on that third line this year. That is a guarantee. Heponieminen and Kirby Dack will be playing on the second line, so we have no third liners. So our top 6 is filled up. We got everyone that we want to play on that top 6. That's without a doubt. Everyone is staying up there. No one's moving. Brent Leeson, Ryder Davies, yes. Defensively now. We got Aaron Ekblad, Keenan's, Petrov, and Percy Ninamaki. So we need one more defenseman to play that top 6 role, and then if we need to, we will pick up a top 2 defenseman. So it's just all depth pickups. It's just making this team better depth wise. So let's see what is in free agents this year. And there's no big guys. I mean, well, fuck, Kachuk and shit. Jesus, man, that would be a bloody good pick, having Kachuk on your team. And I mean, fuck, we could possibly do that. No, actually, we can't. We can't pick up a first liner. I just noticed I was a first liner. I was like, we could do that. That's a perfect deal for the team. But no, he's a first liner because we could, but we can't because we cannot take third liners. Ooh, Jordan Greenway, 6'6", 225 pounds. Now this is a type of guy that you need for a fucking big time. Yeah, he's good defensively. He's a massive defensive player for the Minnesota Wild. I think that's our first pick. And that's a perfect deal for the team. But no, he's a first liner because we could, but we can't because we cannot take third liners. Ooh, Jordan Greenway, 6'6", 225 pounds. Now this is a type of guy that you need for a good centerman wise. Maybe we go after someone that's better centerman than Ryder Davies. But I mean, we could hold out on that. I mean, where's Ryder Davies? Where's my boy Ryder Davies? There he is. So Ryder Davies, yeah, 79. Oh fuck yeah, he's good, man. He's good. I think that's perfectly fine the way that he's 79 overall for center wise, so he could definitely man that third line. Right wing wise, you got Pontus Aberg. He's a big time sniper. I mean, he doesn't produce that many goals, and the one time that he did was in 2019-20, probably playing with the Anaheim Ducks. And defensively, he's not that great defensively. As you guys can see, his stats are horrible defensively, so we're going to have to find somebody better. Jakob Silverberg, someone that's a depth, but he's still not that great defensively either. Dante Heinen, Tyler Toffoli, you could take a look at, 32 years old, not that great defensively. Dante Heinen, I mean, we could go back after him. Dominic Cahoon, he's not that great defensively. Ty Ratty, he's a meh. He could do good sometimes. He might not be able to, but you know what? Let's give Ty Ratty a chance up on that third line. We'll give him a 2-year deal. at 2.925 for 2 years for Ty Ratty. And if he does not turn out for us, we can just trade him in the second year and stuff like that. Defensively, we got Ramo Ninimaki, so we could potentially use like a guy like a Derek Pouliot to be that kind of like offensive prowess. I wouldn't mind doing that. So we can sign him to we'll sign him to 2.625 or 6.65 million for Derek Pouliot. And then goaltending wise, we're going to get a good backup that could be consistent with the team. 917, Kyle Peterson. He's been a consistent backup in the NHL. So we'll sign Kyle Peterson to a deal 1 year at, we can sign him to 2.350 for Kyle Peterson. So there's all our signings that we're going to be doing for this upcoming free agents. I don't think we're going to really have to worry about signing. I think Jordan Greenway is the only guy that we're going to really have to worry about giving any, like, oh, fucking hell, any type of no movement clause to, which I'm not too worried about. Even if he does take a no movement clause or anything like that for our third liner, I don't think I'm going to be really that worried about that, because he's been a good producing guy for the team. So I think that shouldn't be much of a problem. I'm going to quickly hire some scouts, get this all organized so we can actually do a better year at scouting and stuff like that. So I'll be right back when I'm done the scouting and shit like that, and we'll hit back up on the free agents. Alright guys, I am back after doing all that boring stuff of signing free agents and stuff like that. Scouts. The amounts of scouts that we're going to be popping up on our screen for the next little bit, because I had to sign a lot of scouts and clear our house so we could get some good damn scouts in our scouting class for the Florida Panthers, so we could get some better drafts come our way, because I want to start picking really, really well and start going really deep in those drafts, because this year was a poor draft. We didn't get that very many picks that we could really see that were really that great. Even I don't even think our scouts are finding anything. So Ty Ratty has signed with the Florida Panthers. Jordan Greenway has rejected and will not be coming to us. He will be going to the New York Islanders, Derek Pouliot, and Kyle Peterson. So that was a huge bust for us. Jordan Greenway has decided not to sign with your Florida Panthers. So that's a real big kick in the knackers. So Pavel Bunovich, I guess we're going to go with a downgrade. But he's still great defensively. I think he could definitely be a huge player for the team. Unless we go after like somebody old, but I mean, that's not really going to be a case for us. So we're going to be going after Pavel Bunovich. Hopefully no one else goes after him. So I think our maximum was 3 mil, right? You had to have above $3 million to get a no movement clause or anything like that. So we're going to keep to that case unless I messed up my rule or some shit like that, which I will have to double check later on, but because, you know, I forget sometimes. But our new free agent signings, I don't think we're going to have to give any of them a clause or anything. Ty Ratty is 2.925, so we're not going to have to worry about him. That's just below the thresh mark. And then also our defensive defenseman and Derek Pouliot, that was 2.650. And then Kyle Peterson, we're not going to have to worry about either. So the only guy we're going to have to worry about is Pavel Bunovich, who is signing hopefully soon to our team. And hopefully we can play good defensively on that third line. And it's all about getting those fourth line pickups that can play on that PK as well. Because that's going to be really important for the team if we can get those type of defensive guys for that fourth line, which we are going to go and sign. Jonas Donskoy, I think, is one of them that we're just going to go immediately out and sign. He used to play with the Florida Panthers and stuff like that. I think he's just going to be a guy that we're going to go out there and sign right off the get-go. Jake Virtanen, he's not really good defensively, though, and I know that for sure. Devontae Smith-Pelly, no. Derek Brassard, 36 years old. He only played 11 games, but he can play defensive hockey. So, depth pickup for us. And Derek Brassard, if he drops, then he drops. But Derek Brassard, he's a good pickup. We'll sign him to a contract. And we'll just practically sim to the off-season. We still have a lot of money. That's because we have so many entry-level deals and stuff like that. We have a lot of players on cheap deals and shit like that. So, we're playing with that cap really good. So, let's just get to the regular season and take a look at your 2024-25 season for the Florida Panthers. We have almost hit 10 seasons now. I think we've hit the halfway part, 5-6 seasons in now. And we still haven't won a cup yet. We've been struggling to stay consistently in the playoffs, and we're hoping to change that up with Leon Draisaitl coming to the team. So we have changed the scenario. We got rid of Mitch Marner. We got a new defensive guy, a new big tough guy with Leon Draisaitl. A little bit older, a little bit more of an expensive contract, which I'm not hating. He still has a 1 year left on his contract, which we're going to go right out there. And we'll see how well he performs for the first month, and then we'll sign him to a contract extension and stuff like that. If he really does not perform, and then we'll just get rid of him and stuff like that, get some assets or something, and he'll go to like a playoff team or some shit like that, which will be the plan. Hopefully Leon Draisaitl does really perform for the Florida Panthers right now, because that's all we need. We don't need a guy that does not perform for us. We need a guy that can actually play good hockey and stuff like that. So captains and stuff, Heponieminen, Gaudreau, and then Ekblad as our captain. That's still going to stay the same for the Florida Panthers. And what do we have for this upcoming year for your Florida Panthers? Did we get worse? Did we get better? What happened? We still have $17 million. What are we looking at for this upcoming year? Lots of third liners I'm expecting. Yep. Fucking hey. Heponieminen and Dak are third liners now, which I don't believe that. Like, how the fuck do you just downgrade Heponieminen, who had 55 points, down to a third liner? It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's whatever. That means we could transfer any of these third liners into the second line. So if Heponieminen doesn't do great, and Ryder Davies is performing, then we'll throw him up alongside a line A or something like that. Kirby Dak will definitely be playing on the second line. We could change the amount of stuff up. We have lots of lineup combinations that we could do, and Derek Brassard is not going to be ready for us to play defensively now. What are we looking at there? Ekblad, Keenan's, Petrov, yeah, all the same guys. They haven't jumped up or anything. They probably did, but nothing really to improve. And then Eric Davies and Stuart Skinner, they're both stars this year, and we also have a new backup and Julian Whitfield, or Jamison Whitfield. So we have lots of controversy here for the team, so we're going to have to make a lot of deals to start off the next episode, and maybe picking up a dominant second liner would be something to go after, right? I mean, I guess we do got Ryder Davies. I don't see the point of doing any changes with this team, but if you guys think that we may need to make a change or something like that, comment anything and everything down below, because I will take your guys' suggestions and stuff like that. If I should change anything up with the Florida Panthers, if we do not perform, I think I'm going to break my controller in half. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next episode. Adios, amigos.